Hi, it's Mrs. Valent, and I'm going to be showing you how to build a basic toy in Fusion 360. Now, here I've got a selection of some really lovely, well-drawn toy ideas. I'm going to choose the truck as a nice, simple starter project. Won't take too long to build in Fusion. Even though it's the simplest of the 5 designs, it still does take a few weeks in the workshop to create something like this, okay, because of all of the elements. And anyway, that's the one I'm going to be building in Fusion 360. Now I'm doing it for a small child, so I need to be aware of the maximum size. I'd want to make it something like that. I'm going to limit myself to about 200 millimeters long and about 100 millimeters tall, just to make it something that, is easy for a child to carry around. It's still going to be fairly big because it's fairly solid timber. All right, so I'm going to start by building the body, and then I will build in the wheels, and then I'll put on a tray compartment. Okay. All right, so I've got my reference. Let's begin. Okay, in Fusion, when you first open up, you may or may not have the data panel open. So this is the data panel. If it's not open, you can just click these little squares here, and it will open that. That's where everything is saved. And this to the left here is your project browser. You can minimize or open that up. Quite often by default, the origin planes are turned off. You can turn those on if you would like to see that. Also down here, you've got a layout grid that you can turn on and off. It quite often helps to have it on. It makes you feel like, where you're oriented in space. It just feels a little bit more physical rather than just a big void. All right, now we're going to start with the side view of the truck. So I'm going to create a sketch on a side plane. I'm going to box in the overall dimensions that I want to limit myself to. And I mentioned that was going to be 100 by 200. So 100, type that in, and then tab to the other dimensions, 200. And you'll notice that the box snaps to that size. And I'm going to just click to accept that. So this is the overall size that I'm going to work inside of to get my truck design. It's always very useful to have sort of some guiding parameters that you want to work with, especially when you're designing something. So you might have an overall goal, but the small shapes and sizes within that aren't quite as important. Now I need the cabin up here, so I'm going to just draw some basic shapes to block it out. So I've got like a fairly large cabin, so I'll just put that in. Just if you have another quick look here, you can see it's the top of the cabin, and then I've got this big long block that makes the middle, which I'll just do as a big long rectangle, and then I'll just round the nose down. Okay, so coming back in here, I'm going to create just a sort of big long rectangle, probably from here to about here. Remember that this bottom area is going to be where the wheels are. All right, so I can trim off some of this now. I've probably got too many lines, so I'm going to use the trim tool. I need to get rid of some of these lines because I've got too many. So I'm going to trim things off that I don't want. I do have 2 there. Just be aware that I drew 2 lines on top of each other. So I'm just going to remove the ones I don't want. Okay, so I've got my big long body. I've got a bit of a bump where the cabin's going to be. I need to round down the nose. I also need to scoop up between. I need to do an arc up here and an arc down there. So I can do that with the arc tool, 3-point tool, somewhere there, and I can just create a little arc. And again, I'm clicking one end of the arc and the other end of the arc, and I'm just flexing the arc in to where I want it. So now I've got kind of a shape. I can get rid of all of these other lines on the inside here that I don't want. Okay. So I've got a bit of a bump. Now I need to round down the nose. So I'm going to use the fillet tool. Of course, that's not enough. If I click that, you can see the number comes up here. I want to go much bigger. Ooh, that's too much. You can see it's cutting in now. So I'll go back 20. Still too much. Let's try 15. I think 12 is a bit safer. Somewhere there. Okay, 13. I'm happy with that. And just press enter to accept. Now I have my basic truck shape. Not perfect, but yeah, I think I've made it too long. So I might actually modify the length now that I look at it. 200 is quite big, so I'm going to bring it back to 1500. It looks a little bit distorted, so I'm going to cut this a bit shorter. So if I wanted to decide to take off 50, I need just my line tool. Just going to go use my line tool. I'm actually going to start at this point if I want to be exact. I'm just going to type 50. Okay, and I go there, and I'm going to go with the line tool again from that point that I just drew. I might just go backwards because I've lost it. Line. Oh no, it's there. It's there. I just want to go from there straight down, and then I can trim off all of those. There's 2 on there, obviously. All those ones I don't want. Okay, I might round down these things because in real life we don't have sharp, pointy things. We edges, corners like that. We definitely don't want it for a child's toy. So just going to round a lot of this so it looks a little bit safer and a little bit more like a toy. Now it's getting closer. Not perfect, but it's okay. All right, obviously this is not exactly what I wanted it to be, so if I wanted to trim that off and that, I could probably draw my own curve. I'll just draw my own arc from there to there, and I can flex that out. Looks a bit odd. Yeah, I think I'll just go backwards. Command Z saves the day. All right, I'm just going to leave it to like this. I'm going to put a little hole in for the window. Okay, so now I have a profile for my truck, and I'm just going to hit finish sketch. At this point, I'm going to hit extrude, and I'm going to choose the one I want to extrude, and I'm going to extrude it by the thickness of 3 panels of wood. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick 3 panels of wood together to get my thickness. Each one is like 18, so just doing some quick maths. 54. Okay, so it's going to be 54. We'll just make it 55. Yeah, that's nice. Well, it's probably too thick. I think I might just make it 2. Okay, let's go 2 times 18 to 8, 16, 3, 36. Okay, so I'll just make it 36. Oops. Yeah, that feels like less bulky, less really heavy for a child's toy. Now here, before I click accept, I'm just going to note that I'm actually going to make it a new component. New body's okay. New components better. Components allow you to apply unique textures and materials. So I'm going to go for new component. Okay, so I've got the body of my truck. Now I can, build on some other things. I'm going to build on the wheels. Always thinking about how I might construct this as well. So at this point, I'm going to put on, I could probably drill a hole straight through the middle here because it's not too, yeah. So I might drill a couple of holes for the axle. So let's place the axle about here, and my axle will probably only be thin. So let's make this hole 8 mils diameter, and I'm going to come along and do another one at the back. Again, another 8 mils diameter hole. Okay, so finished sketch. So now I've got my axle point. I'm actually going to use extrude again. I'm going to choose that one and hold down shift and choose that one as well. Now, instead of new body here, I'm actually going to choose cut. So I'm actually, and I'm going to go backwards through this, see how it's 0. If I go negative, because the arrow is obviously pointing away from my object, I want to go back and cut into the object. So if we go, remember it was 36 minus 36 and cut, you'll notice that now, if I look at that, it is a nice straight through cut. All right. So at this point, I can build my axle and I can create my wheels, which I'll do. And then I might go and show you how to put that into an orthogonal sheet. So let's do very quickly some axles. So we're going to do some axles. I think I might actually, yep, I'll do them on this face. I think I might actually have to do this a little bit out from the face. So if I wanted to do an axle through the middle here, I guess I could. What I might do is create a new reference plane though. So here, I don't want the wheel sitting right up flush to the edge of the face, otherwise it won't rotate. I actually want it away a couple of mils. So what you can do is you can offset one of the planes. So if I'm looking at this from square and you say, okay, I want to choose that plane, I want to offset it by like, let's say 1 mil, just 1, okay? If I actually make it 2, just to be a bit more obvious. Okay, so I'm going to offset a plane by 2 mil, say okay. Now I can actually draw on that new plane. So if I wanted to do my wheels, I can choose that plane and go choose my center. Should be able to snap to center. Let's see. Doesn't want to activate it. Let's see if I can get it. No, well, what I'll do instead is I will bring this into, bring that circle into this plane. So I'm actually going to modify, no, I think it's not a create. I want to include. So where is it? Oh yeah, sorry, there it is, project include. So project, and if I select that and I select that, it includes it in my current sketch. And that will just make it easier for me to now choose the center point and create my wheel. So I'll probably make this like 36.5 is good, 36.5. Yep, it's a nice size. And again for this, 36.5. Okay, that's good. I do want the hole in the middle, in fact. So let's just hit finish. And now I can extrude these two new faces. So, and you'll notice, just cancel, you'll notice if I look at it square, it's 2 mils away because I was able to use that offset plane to start these sketches. So I'm going to go and choose both of them, hold shift down, choose the second. Now, this is just going to be the thickness of one sheet of timber, so 18. It's quite thick, isn't it? Still, that's what it is. And is just change new body to new component. Make sure that it's actually going to be unique in itself, and I can put on unique textures for that. And there we have the wheels. Okay. I might just hit save at this point because I haven't saved. So and make sure you choose a location for it. Put it into and make it toy truck. Yep, save. All right. Now I need to do the same on the other side, and I need to put axle through so it has something to turn on. Okay. So let's go to the other side. Rotate around. So I'm going to click this cube to rotate around, and if I click a corner, it rotates to look at that corner. Okay, so that's, yep, how you can rotate. And if you want to go back to your home view, you can just click home. Okay, but I want to see that other side. All right, so now we're going to do another offset plane. Choose that plane, come off 2 millimeters off the side, make that sketch. Use the include tool under create include project. Just include those points. Make my new circle, which was 36.5 there, and same for here, 36.5. Okay, and hit finish. And now if I extrude those out, holding shift down to choose more than one, and take it out 18, and make sure it's new component. Okay, hit save. All right, yeah. You have to regularly save in this program. It doesn't save as quickly and like every couple of seconds, like Google Drive and Google Docs and Sheets and all that. You have to do, it's a bit more manual. Okay, by the way, 2 fingers, zooms in and out, and pan. So yeah, pan is 2 fingers just swiping, and pinching is of course in and out. All right, so axle, let's just do a quick axle. Let's do that. Wonder if we could just do it on that face. And we do need to make sure it goes through the whole extent. So I'm actually just going to do it the quick, easy way. So we'll just do include again. Include that size and that one, and say okay. Go back to finish sketch. Now extrude that and that. Now we want it to go through be a new component again because it's going to be metal. We actually need it to go through to another face. So I'm actually going to push it. Now, if you want to work it out, let's see, 36. So plus the 4 mil, so that's 40 plus another 36 because we've got the 2 sides, so 40, 60, 76. So that would be 76. So if we type in minus 76, I'd say we've got ourselves, yep, perfect. And that was a new component. So I'm just going to hit save. I'm done now. All right. Now, if I wanted to put materials on this and render this, that's the next lesson.